All right, this video is coming from a collective member question about how do I create a nice pitch for BNI? Are you in BNI or are you in some other network working group where you get to get in front of people? Getting in front of people is a great way to promote your business, build a connection with real people, and to have that opportunity to have real impact in your business. BNI is probably the first place and the easiest place to do this because when you join BNI, you are showing up every week and you're giving a 60-second commercial on your business. But then a couple times a year, you're going to have the opportunity to give a 10-minute presentation all about your business. And so this is a pure infomercial. Okay, it's your opportunity, and they're giving you the permission to just talk about yourself. So why not take advantage of that? Why not be prepared, right? But there are other instances where you can use this same presentation format that works really well. You can do lunch and learns with realtors' offices. You can show up at your chamber of commerce might have opportunities for this. There are other types of local events where you should be able to find an opportunity to get in front of people and showcase your work. And as a member of the collective, or at least all of our collective members, have kind of a built-in presentation all within the tool of their profile page and the landing page. And so I'm going to do a quick demonstration about how I would kind of a role play, if you will, and share with you how I would go about this. And as I go, I'm going to pause to explain why I'm saying these things and why I'm doing them, why they are incorporated into the pitch. So the very first thing that you start off with when you're presenting in front of the group is you want to make sure that you have the visuals in place, right? You want to look presentable, you want to be confident, you want to be sure, and you want to be rehearsed. Okay, so take the time to practice how you are going to tell the story of your company and the story of your customers. What we want to be able to do is we want to be able to foster a connection to the audience, and so the very first thing that we need to do is we need to be able to hook them. And that hook is that first 3 seconds of the presentation, or the first 7 seconds of that presentation, where they're going to make an immediate judgment on you. And maybe you've been through some of these. Maybe you've seen other people do them, and you've seen kind of the lackluster visuals, or you've heard the kind of the meandering, just kind of shooting from the hip, winging it kind of thing, and it fails to have a strong impact. Well, what I can tell you is that when I give my 10-minute pitches at BNI, I don't get eyes glazing over. In fact, one of the last times I did one, there was a visiting member of BNI. He had been in BNI for 30 years, and he came up to me and said, "In 30 years, I don't think that I have seen a better 10-minute presentation." So this stuff works. It's impactful, but it's going to require a degree of authenticity and realness that you're going to want to get comfortable with. You're going to want to, you're going to want to get used to it. And so that hook, it's really important. So the first thing is, of course, being presentable yourself. And we're not going to do gimmicks, okay? People do gimmicks at BNI. Maybe that works for them, but we want to be authentic. So get presentable. That's your dress, that's your clothes, it's your speech, the way that you rehearse it. But it's also the presentation. So you're going to have a presentation, and you can use your digital profile and your landing page as your presentation. That's how it's designed. It's designed as a sales tool more than anything. And so come equipped with those two things. The second thing is crafting that hook, okay? So what do I mean by hook? Well, how are you going to hook and engage your audience? The best way to do that is going to be through stories. People resonate with stories. I was reading a Harvard Business Review article about the power of storytelling in business, and they had interviewed a researcher, an anthropologist, and she noted that that we're just kind of evolved to communicate through stories and to learn and understand things through story. And so having a great story that can hook your audience at the beginning is the most important. And I tend to be a little bit more vulnerable. I tend to open up, and that's where that authenticity comes into place. Being willing to put yourself out there, and to do it in a way that that can help these people know that you're a real human being, right? I think that when we put on too much of a facade, when we have a strong exterior and don't let people in, it makes it hard for them to like us. And people do business with people that they like. And so that's why I start with a story. So it's not uncommon for me to talk about the story of when I went through a big challenge, and then how painting kind of rescued me in a way, right? And so the story that I typically tell is about 4 years ago, I went through a divorce, and when I moved out of my house and into a new home, here I was, a single dad of two girls, and all of my furniture, well, half of my furniture that the furniture that was left was piled into the middle of the room. And I remember looking around, and it was just me, and I was alone, and I felt like I had failed. I felt like I didn't have any self-worth. And to make matters worse, it was right at the beginning of the pandemic, and so I had no support network. I had nobody around me who could come to me, and I truly felt all alone. And as I looked all around, and I looked at the walls, they hadn't been painted. They were a color combination that was this kind of older combination that I just found so ugly. And all of it was a reminder of how I had just failed and lost my entire life. And in that moment of despair, I realized that I had to wake up, uh, keep going, keep moving. I had to show up for my girls. I had to uh, I had to survive. I had to get through this. And the only thing that I could think to do to show some step of reclaiming my life or starting my life over, the only thing that I could think to do was to paint. And so I went and I got my fan deck of colors, and I started looking at them, and I was able to choose uh, colors, my colors, colors that suited me, and colors that I thought would go great with the girls. And I didn't argue. I didn't have it. There was nobody to argue with about it, right? Like the past. I was finally able to have choice, and to be able to take a little bit of claim a little bit of control in my life, and it was through painting. And that's how I know the power of what we do. It has tangible, real benefits. I remember after getting the painting done and sitting, and then I set up my living room, and I sat down on the couch and I looked around, and it felt like a home. And for the first time in several months, I felt like, okay, I can do this. I can survive. Right? So that's the story that I share. I share that story pretty frequently. And the happy ending in my story is that I did recoup, and I was able to remarry, and have another beautiful son, and life got better. Life got better. And so I start with that story because I want people to know a little bit about who I am, where I come from, and why I do the thing that I do. And so I encourage you to start there, to find your story, to find the thing that the trial and the challenge in your life that you were able to solve or you were able to overcome, and where the painting or your business or some exchange with another client had real impact. If you don't have a personal story of that, then try to think back to a customer where they were going through a big challenge, something that was really hard for them, and that they were going through at the time, and talk about how getting their house painted made them feel a whole lot better. Now, are we saving lives? Are we doctors? Are we, police officers? Not really. Okay, that much is fair. However, uh, the transformative power of painting is something that is real and meaningful. I remember talking to a woman, and I shared that story with her, and she started to cry. And I thought, oh gosh, what did I do? Like, I mean, I know that it's a hard story, but life got better. I got remarried. I found my person, right? Well, as it had turned out, she had gone through a divorce fairly recently, and part of the reason that she, where it kind of hit her was that at some point she had painted a room in her house, and kind of claimed it as her own space, and she felt good about it, and she felt like, this is my place, this is my domain. And then her husband said this, I'm so glad you did this. This is going to be a great place for my office. And he took it, and that's how she knew, right? And so I think the painting and the decorating, the design of your home has a real impact on how you feel. It marks a new chapter for a lot of people. Um, and so those stories, they can really move people and touch people, and when you let them in to your world, um, that allows them to get to know you, and if they know you, then they'll trust you, and that's incredibly important, especially in the context of BNI, because we want to be trusted enough so that they will refer us. Okay? So building that trust is immediately important, and that's why we begin with the hook. I'm starting with my profile page, because after I tell that hook, that's when I say, I'm Torlando and I am a craftsman painter. And so we have this nice, backdrop here where it has our name, it has our company, and it shows what we want them to do. And so this, after we share that hook, what we say is who we help and how we help them. Now, this one's very important in BNI. This one's very important in BNI because um, the people in BNI, they want to refer business to you, but their ability to refer is contingent upon them knowing who you serve. And so you might go to BNI and you might get people who will start, offering suggestions. Oh, you should get in touch with the property management company in town because they have tons of properties. Or, oh, I have 18 rentals. We should definitely talk. Well, the property management company and the guy with the 18 rentals, that might not be your target customer. You might not want to paint 18 rentals, right? I know I don't. And so we have to immediately be clear with who it is we serve so that they know who to listen for. And so we've got this kind of serving as our backdrop, but then what we'll do, you'll click the little icon at the top, and that will load your landing page. And the landing page says who you are, what you do, and where you do it. Okay? And so what we're going to say is, I'm Torlando. I'm a craftsman painter, a member of the Craftsman Painter Collective. My company is X if you have another company name. And you say, I help Bloomington homeowners create a better life for themselves through painting. We primarily service people who dot, 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 right? We want to be very clear about who that is. And I would even go as far as to say, um, tell them who is not a good fit. So what I might say is, uh, most of our customers find themselves in a situation where they have just moved into their dream home. And the thing about their dream home is that there's something that's not quite right. You see, the colors of the old homeowner are hideous, and the reality is that this dream home will be a nightmare if they don't do something about it. And so we help them find the perfect color, and then our crew of craftsman painters comes in and paints a beautiful job with high-end quality finishes and excellent products. That's who we serve. It's very clear, right? And then I might say something to the effect of, now, as you guys are thinking about who you can refer to us, I do want you to be aware of people who might not be a good fit for us. We don't really do the apartment turnovers. We don't really do commercial new construction, right? Whatever it is that you don't do, mention that. We don't really do that. And the reason that we don't do that is because of X, Y, and Z, right? You want to have a justifiable reason, right? And what I might say to the apartment turnover folks is, I say, we don't really service the apartment turnovers. And the reason being is because the requirements for speed and the lack of quality required in the apartments, it's just not something that we really do. We tend to service the people who have higher expectations of quality and service. There are a lot of great companies out there who are a little bit better suited for those rental properties. For us, we serve homeowners who are either their paint has gone bad. It's been about 5 to 7 years, and the walls are getting dingy, and the colors are getting dated, and there's holes in the walls, and we're going to patch those up, and we're going to fix them, and we're going to paint and give their home a facelift. Or we're looking for people who are moving into a new home and want to make it their own, right? Very clear. We want to be very, very, very clear upfront about that. Now, the second thing that they're going to want to know is results. And if you've kind of have listened to the undertone here of how I'm going, we're really kind of following a problem, solution, result. So that first story that I hooked them with is a problem. The problem is, people go through life-changing events, right? That's something that's really actually quite important to understand about our services. Most people paint because they're going through some type of life change. They're getting a new house. Their kids are graduating high school, and they've got to both get ready for the graduation party, and they are about to be empty nesters, and so there's a major life event change happening. Maybe you found a niche in kind of the older community where people are downsizing their homes and they're getting ready to move into smaller condos, and so maybe that's the people that you're serving. Maybe you're in more of a historic restoration situation, and you have people who love and honor the history of their homes, and they want to maintain them, but it's a lot of work. You might be servicing custom new construction, and so you're maybe not going directly for the homeowner, but you're going for builders, and so that would require a different problem, a different solution, and a different result. But that's kind of how we're doing this. We're hooking them with a problem by using a real story, one that they can identify with, one that can tug on the heartstrings, but one that's authentic and real. and we're pinpointing paint as the solution, the thing that's going to make things better, right? The remedy. You identify the illness and then you provide the remedy. And we're very clear about who needs that remedy. Well, now we go into the result. And the result is is really it's where your value proposition is held, because people buy only when the price feels a little bit lower than the value that they're getting, right? And so if we have a higher price, we need to make sure that we are demonstrating that there's enough value there, right? What are the results? Well, the best place to go for results is the reviews. And it sounds so much better coming from you, or I'm sorry, coming from your customers than coming from you. Because I can say, we have excellent communication. We are on time. We are clean. We are really great at color. We do this. We, me, I, right? Nobody pays attention to that. What they do pay attention to are the reviews. And so right here in the presentation, I'm going to go straight to the reviews. I've covered the problem that we solved. I've talked about, what we do and how we do it, who we do it for. Now let's go to the reviews. And so right on the big screen, I'm sharing this with I'm sharing this with our audience here so they can see it nice and big. I'm going to go right into the reviews, and I'm going to say, here's such and so person, and I'll name them by name, and I'll say they recommended us because we have excellent communication, we perform fast, we have impeccable work, and are reasonably priced. This customer said that they endorse us wholeheartedly as a company because of the job that I did in explaining the process, explaining the different types of wall prep and the paint. And she said that it made a difference in helping her understand and formulate expectations of the painting process. What else did she say? She said that everybody loves the colors. They exclaim that the colors are so great that Torlando chose. The pricing, communication, experience, the wonderful employees. They've beautified our home and it feels new again, right? We're talking about our value proposition through the reviews, okay? I'm going to repeat. It's one thing to talk about your value proposition as a person, as the person who's doing it, right? As the salesperson. Nobody likes talking to a salesperson. But when you have the reviews doing the speaking for you, when your reviews are highlighting and showcasing your value proposition, it means more. We also want to highlight the pictures as we go here, right? And so, what I might say here, and now here's also an example of a beautiful set of cabinets that we painted, right? Here, down here is a picture of our crew leader, pouring paint, and you can see that we've covered the floors and we've masked off the walls, and we do interesting colors and we come in uniform, right? We want to show the professionalism. Here's what this customer said about our crew leader. Miles provided high quality home painting work and upgraded my house look. I like Miles' dedicated attitude and attention to detail, right? So you're going to see that our crew leaders have that attention to detail and that our customers really love who we send into the home. And keep going on this, right? Because you have 10 minutes. So fill the 10 minutes, right? Phenomenal job. Clean, precise. We provide regular text messages and photos of updates of the project, right? Again, the reviews are telling the audience what our value proposition is. So we go through these and we're highlighting, here's an office building. So let's say you have different types of projects. Well, showing those pictures can help you to expand and help them know and understand what you're doing and who you do it for. Here we did a law office, and they had a specialty color that they wanted done. Here we did these cabinets, beautiful green color. And in fact, this customer came to us because of our newsletter. And here we can kind of, promote our newsletter. We have a monthly newsletter or a weekly newsletter where we send out inspiration on color. And it just so happens that one of our past customers got an email from us with a wide array of different green colors for cabinets. And she had heard that one of her friends was looking to paint their cabinets. And so she forwarded this email. And they loved that email so much that they gave us a call. We came out, we painted the cabinets, and they absolutely loved it, right? They commented, Torlando has an impeccable eye for detail and elegant design, plus an extremely professional team of professional painters, right? And so we want to continue to reinforce, as we talk about the work that we do and we showcase it, we want to reinforce both the experience and our expertise throughout the process through those reviews. Encourage people to keep looking at your reviews. Then comes the call to action. Okay, the call to action. This is the core offer, and so here on as our core offer, we let them know, hey, just so you're aware that all of our customers get to claim a free color consultation with the service that they contract with us for. If we're doing their paint job, they're going to get a free color consultation with a certified interior designer or color specialist. And that's part of the package. It's part of what they get when working with us, so that they don't have to be concerned that the color is going to be wrong. Okay. Now, in our offer, there are three or four components here that are important. One is that you're expressing scarcity. And so at some point, we're going to mention the fact that it says limited availability. And so you're going to say, now, this time of year, a lot of people like to get their house painted. And so, we do have limited availability. It's first come, first serve. But with enough planning and managing of expectations, we can get them service, and we can get them service well, right? So we want to kind of let them know that we're not just always available. There's a little bit of scarcity, and what you might say is something to the effect of, look, I'd love to grow, and I'd love to be able to service everybody as soon as possible, but the reality is that it's hard for you to find good painters. It's hard for us to find good painters. And the thing is, we're not going to let anybody into our company that doesn't do a good job. And so our workforce is maybe a little bit smaller than it could be, but we do that because we want to preserve the quality. So we do have limited space. And then then what happens after there? We got the law of reciprocity, that free color consultation. Look, you're going to get this for free if you give us the work, right? It's the law of reciprocity. The credibility and authority comes in because you're going to work with a color expert, right? And 50% of people don't move forward with a painting project because they're stuck on the color. And so by offering that freebie, you're giving them an assurance that the job's going to be done right. And then we want to provide a plan. So here's how it works to work with us. The first thing that people do is they're going to schedule an in-home estimate. Now, the best way to do that is for you guys to take these cards that I passed around and give them to them. And on the back of this card is a QR code. Now, it also has a link to our website and a phone number if they feel more comfortable with more traditional ways. But scan this QR code, it will go directly to my profile, where they'll be able to give me a call or schedule on my book directly on my calendar, because I have a booking link on there and they can schedule directly there. Now, for you realtors in the room, I have a button on the site where you can actually, and what I might do is I might go back to my profile for this, right? Now, for you realtors, this blue button right here, and yours might be a different color, it says send pictures of your project. And so if you've got a customer who's trying to get a ballpark price and you'd like to get an idea, you can snap a picture and I will get those, and I can provide an estimate to you via the photos. Okay, and so we'll just go back to our page here and back to this offer. So the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to schedule an in-home estimate. Second thing that's going to happen after they've got their price, we're going to sit down and we're going to look at colors with the interior designer or color specialist. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to book the crew, okay? And you're going to love our crew. All of those reviews, we earned them for a reason, and having them, having them in your home is going to be a joy. They're pleasant, they're friendly, they're clean, they're kind, they're helpful, and you're just going to love our team, And I imagine that you all have worked with contractors in the past. Some of you might have had some experiences that are doozies, and so just how important it is to find a crew that is pleasant to be in your home and who feels safe. The last thing that you want to do is invite somebody into your home that doesn't help you or your family feel safe. And so with our crew, we background check them, we vet them, we interview them rigorously, and we know that you're going to love the people who are in your home. Okay. And so then we keep going and we say, last thing I'll mention is that we are members of the Painting Contractors Association, and there are very few members of the Painting Contractors Association in our town. And let me tell you something, that matters. Okay, and you have to drive that point home. That matters. I actually said this today to a client who was I was in her home, and I said that matters, and she said, "Oh yes, it does." Right? People know. Like if you are a member of a trade association, that means that you hold yourself to a higher standard, and the PCA is a phenomenal organization to be a part of, to be a member of, because they're going to not only hold you to that standard, but they're going to help you get there, and the other members in the PCA are going to help you get there. And so we flash that piece of authority because authority matters when we're giving a presentation. People want to know that we have the expertise to deliver. And if we're one of few members of the PCA, and some of you are going to be the only members of the PCA in your area, that sets you apart. That shows that you are an authority. And then the last thing that you're going to go is questions. And you can say, now, here, I'd love to answer your questions, any questions that you have. Here are a set of frequently asked questions if you can't think of any, and if any of these kind of spark your interest, I'd be happy to answer them now, right? And so what's nice about using the prompts, the frequently asked questions, and putting them up there is that they'll be able to use that as inspiration to get the ball rolling. A couple people might not immediately have a question in mind, but they'll say, "Oh yeah, well, how long is your wait list?" Right? And then you can go ahead and answer that question, and that can be kind of a springboard for other people asking questions. We want to get them to ask questions, because if they ask questions, then that means that they have been engaged and they are engaged, and they want to know more. And when they ask a question and you answer it directly, they're more likely to remember that interaction, right? And it also gives you an opportunity to demonstrate your expertise, right? And so if there are no questions, don't be don't be too hard on yourself. But we definitely want them to ask questions, because that does show that they've been engaged. The last part is you're going to repeat after the questions are done. Then you're going to repeat the call to action, and you're going to say, I would love to serve you and your friends and your colleagues and clients. Um, the best way to get started with that is to message us directly for a ballpark quote or an in-home estimate. On our website, we have many ways to reach out to us: call, email, text message, all of that's fine. You can also book an appointment directly online, and then point to your card again. Make sure that you hang on to my card and pass it along and add me to your contacts, right? And once again, the profile has that. Now, another option here to throw in here, here's kind of a little bonus, right? If during this Q&A, people might ask you something to the effect of, how much does painting typically cost? Okay, that's a really great question. If painting costs, uh, that's one of the biggest hurdles, just knowing how much it costs. Well, I recommend going to this pricing page here, where you've got just kind of a simple average ranges, and here you can say, great question, glad you asked it. So the typical painting project is usually broken up into phases. Most of our customers break the project into phases in order to kind of manage their budget. Okay, and so the vast majority of the projects that we do are going to be somewhere between $3,000 to about $7,500, and that's maybe that's phased out. Maybe it's the first big phase that they're doing. When people want the entire home done, that usually sits in the ballpark of $9,000 to $25,000 or more. Depending on the size of the house. We do some pretty big houses, and so they tend to spend a lot on paint. But for the average home, they're typically going to break it into phases of $3,000 to $7,000, and then whatever other services you offer, you can say the same thing, right? Those are going to be some of the things that they end up asking about. So we go to this page here, and we're back here at the bottom. Now, another thing that you can mention, and so there's kind of two call to actions. There's the direct call to action, right? Which is, you need an estimate, you're ready for paint, you know somebody that needs paint. That's how you do it. Book an appointment, give me a call, right? Well, then there's a second call to action, and this is the one that you probably want to land on. And you say, here's the deal. I don't want to leave you guys empty-handed. If you guys like looking at pretty houses and you like seeing pretty colors, please follow me on Instagram. You click that portfolio button and it opens up your Instagram, right? And we end on this note of them being able to see the full range of your portfolio. If you go to my Instagram and you tell them your Instagram handle and you say, click follow for me, you're going to get to see all these pretty pictures of houses in your feed. And you scroll through your feed and show them all the beautiful work that you do. Now, you got to make sure that your Instagram is nice and cleaned up, because nobody wants an Instagram that's full of ads or full of before pictures or stuff that's not pretty pictures. So you might have to clean up your Instagram, but make sure that this grid is looking beautiful and that it has as many beautiful pictures of houses as you can find. And on that note, and say, follow me on Instagram. I would love to be your painter. And then you close. And so there it is. That's how you can use your landing page in the context of BNI. I wish you luck. Be excited, be animated, be genuine, be real. Come up with that story, and you will have people telling you that you gave the best presentation ever.